Let me just point out that if I explain every single image I took during these photo and video trips, this video would just go on way too long. You guys would get bored, I would get bored, honestly. So let me just say, got the photo, isolated tree. I love isolated trees. Nice prairie grass. There you go. Next. Hello and welcome back. Today I'm on location here at Cox Arboretum Metro Park, and it's a more community-based public park that I've been to many times before with the camera, but it's one that just attracts a lot of different people. So it's not quite so secluded to take photos, at least in my opinion. But despite that, I've gotten some great results here previously, like a nice sunset panorama that I took on the tree tower actually. Which is just a great idea I kind of had right at the last minute, right before the golden hour started, and it worked out pretty well, I think. But so today I'm here just photographing whatever I may find today. We got various kinds of winter birds, and then we might even photograph some landscapes here, just depending on what we see and work with today. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's got a handful of trails. I think it's about a little over about 5 miles or so. There's about 4 or 5 color-coded trails that you can hike on. They take you through some dense woodlands, some succession areas, and as the name Arboretum suggests, this place is it's got various amounts of trees here. Lots of coniferous types like evergreens are very present here, different kinds of dogwoods and redbuds. So it's just got a lot of different natural features going on. Not only that, but also has a lot of developed features such as a Zen garden. Lots of kind of man-made small streams and creeks with little cascading waterfalls that are kind of neat to see. And it's got lots of just paved just paths for walking with your dog or whomever, I guess. And so it's got a lot of developedness to it. Now the east side of the Metro Park actually is where you park, and then for that half of the Metro Park really is all the more developed kind of natural features that you may see, like a butterfly house as well. Different kinds of like a nature playscape for kids as well. And then on the western half, which is what I'm a little more interested in for what I'm doing, is the more undeveloped side where you just have hiking trails. That's where all the miles are, at least. And it's just, like I said, through woodland and other various habitats with a handful of prairies and meadows. And not only that, but there's also a small developed waterfowl wildlife pond, and there's actually a little bird blind there. So I'm going to check that out a little bit soon here. I'm looking forward to that. So you never know, you might see a few migrating ducks. That'd be kind of awesome. Or even just some common year-round residents like mallards, or maybe the occasional Canada goose. But as you can imagine, for this time of year, the gardens are pretty much all dead. There's really nothing too much going on that's too exciting there. Just as all the plants are dormant. And the same can be said for the butterfly house. Unfortunately, there's just nothing going on there, and it's just waiting until come spring. Alright, so I found this waterfall. It's a really small one. It has about, from what I could count, about 18 different kind of cascades as it just kind of dips down below all this kind of tiny rock over here. And it's one I photographed before, but I did it from all the way over here against the bridge, and I used a small telephoto lens. And I personally don't find waterfalls shooting them with a telephoto lens. It just, the way the compressing the distance of it just doesn't really attract me really to the photograph. But for this image though, in particular, I'm using a wide-angle zoom lens, which just allows me to have like a lot more to work with, and I can get real up close and just work all the details. And I feel like it's going pretty well so far. I've been pretty much using a polarizer filter, circular polarizer, just to knock out reflections, make everything smoothed out, and just a little more saturated in the colors. That's essentially what a polarizer does, and in this case it works real well. But using that wide-angle lens real up close has also meant that a lot of water just keeps getting splashed and dripped onto all the gear over here. So I've been having to constantly wipe the glass element as well. So yeah, I like really big waterfalls, but also I really like the small kind of creeks and streams like this that just have this nice even flow to them. And it's really interesting just how an image, whether you print it or you view it on a web page or a website online, just the way the size of it just makes it kind of like almost deceiving. And what I mean by that is that looking at this now, coming back to this location, I don't remember it being quite as small as it was when looking at a previous photo I took of it. So in this case, the image, you know, the entire subject is the waterfall and it fills the frame, but it just essentially, to me at least, doesn't look like it's that big. I've also been kind of noticing just because of this kind of ridge line, this hill, it's actually been working in my favor lately with photographing this, is that the sun is slowly creeping up over as we get towards the middle of the day, but the lighting over here is, you know, the entire waterfall is deeply in shadow, which means I just have a lot more to work with. I can either crop out the horizon line, the brighter part of the image, which is behind it in the background, or I can include it just to kind of give some more sense of scale and some more distance and background in the image there. But the only problem with that is you just have to really meter it properly, which can get a little tricky. I've bracketed a few images, just, you know, about 2 shots just for metering and exposing for the background, and then obviously metering for the water and the foreground details and all the rocks. But it's honestly not too hard or tricky to meter for this one. I've just been finding one image, if I can just balance it just right, or metering just for the water. I find like it works pretty well if I include, or if I happen to include the background. With that being said though, the sun is creeping up over top of the water over here, so it means my time here is limited photographing this without it just being deeply in harsh sunlight, and then that would create harsh reflections obviously in the water itself. But yeah, as you can tell, the sun's pretty bright. It's coming up right now. There's no way I'd shoot this image, at least in my opinion. I would never shoot this image personally if it was a bright, sunny, you know, right overhead sky day. Which, I mean, it looks like it's going to be like that later, but like I said, fortunately, at this moment, I feel like it worked out. So yeah, from here I've been shooting various landscapes, mainly of the waterfall variety, just really small ones that are constructed like this. Obviously I shoot both man-made and natural waterfalls. It's all great to me. Makes for great images at least, which is obviously what I'm after at the end of the day. So I'm definitely going to be shooting more, probably some landscapes here and there. This lighting though, I'm not too sure, so I might switch to maybe doing some birds. I feel like that might work pretty well because I've been seeing lots of winter residents like dark-eyed juncos, so we'll see what happens here. has been. It's been a good day out, and it's been a beautiful day out, honestly, all things considered. But I just honestly haven't gotten too many photos, unfortunately, which has been just a real bummer overall. And there hasn't really been too much. I've been just really nothing that's really pulling me to talk about for the video, honestly. So it's a little bit of a bummer, but I do feel like I got enough good, decent B-roll and footage, and the photos that I did get, I think I'm really more or less proud of, I would say. But I mean, I guess we'll see. So it's getting towards the end of the day. The lighting's really, really harsh. It's been like that for a while. I just more or less have been hiking around the trails just a little bit here and there, and just checking the place out more and seeing if there's any other future compositions I really want to work on. So other than that, unfortunately, it's going to conclude the video. So I'm actually going to have lunch, so be a little bit different here. Figured make a little backpacking style meal. So I think it's like a Mexican quinoa bowl. It sounds really delicious right now, honestly. Something that's nice and hearty and high calorie. So pretty sure it's it for the photos today, unfortunately. And yeah, I'm going to eat that, and we'll conclude it here. So yeah, other than that, really the birds. I saw quite a few Carolina wrens up close too, because it seems like they're always not so much approachable, but just I always get to luckily kind of see them up close, which is really nice in general at this place and elsewhere. Yeah, but the birds, I don't know, I just really haven't found too many that I could really get to and photograph easily. Unfortunately, I went up to the tree tower to check out just the nice panoramic view of like the Dayton skyline and everything, and by the time I went back down and I was already like hiking them back and starting the yellow trail, I turned around because I heard a red-shouldered hawk call, and I just see it circling right above, like right next to the tree tower at the very top. And I just thought it was such a bummer, because if I was up there with that, with my telephoto lens and ready, and you know, all the could-have-beens, unfortunately, yeah, heard quite a few hawks of that sort, tons of different robins, definitely the wrens were here, a few mallards in the pond. But I accidentally flushed them just because I was moving around too much, and they saw and heard me before, vice versa. And other than that, yeah, didn't have too much success on the wildlife front, which unfortunately. But like I said, the waterfalls and the landscape-ish type shots, definitely today I think they worked a lot better. So which is nice. So photos are nice. It's good to have all that. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make lunch, and so thank you so much for watching, guys. It's been Cox Arboretum, and until next time, make sure to get out there. Thank you. you.